Remember when the LCS used the tagline "Talk Your Split" last year, and it was all just purely based on like APA's basic level of trash talk, both all chatting and then just afterwards, just throwing one or two shots at people. That was not really trash talk. Like it was a little bit of like bad mouthing at best, but it wasn't a real rivalry. It wasn't like two people that genuinely hated each other or like had disdain for each other in a genuine way. That is what we got between Bwipo and Dhokla. So let's take you through what started with Korean barbecue, evolved into so much more over this past weekend, and why a potential rivalry between these two is set for many years to come, assuming Bwipo doesn't retire. First, as always, we are on our way to 6,000 subscribers by the time that Worlds ends. If you don't mind doing me a favor, drop a sub to this channel, turn on that notification bell, and put in your comments down below, do you think this was actually too petty on Bwipo's part, or is Dhokla a little soft? I have a feeling the reaction's going to be mixed. Let's start with the interview heard around the world. Bwipo had a conversation with Men, of which he noted that FlyQuest got their ass handed to them in scrims by Cloud9 earlier this week. 5 or 6-0. I mean, you could read the tweet. I can't remember the exact number. After that, they then went out to Korean barbecue. And to him, it was basically, oh, they just beat us in scrims. We're going to go out and celebrate with KBBQ. And that should be something that you do after either, a outing with friends that you haven't seen for a bit, a fairly special event, whatever it might be. It's just not one of those things that you go out and you do on a normal basis. The problem was that wasn't technically true, because the thing that actually was abnormal about the situation was that Dom came into town to coach. So he was in town for the first time, so they all went out afterwards at a pre-planned, pre-scheduled thing because he was there to go out and just connect and have dinner and talk and chat and bond all together. It really wasn't that big of a deal or that big of a comment, all things considered, but it blew up so heavily as people just kind of, it's Bwipo. Everybody takes his words to the most extreme that you possibly can. And with that, every single interview question I heard from like the LEC and beyond, like everybody was asking about KBBQ. There were people that thought it was forced at some point. They're like, would you go to Korean barbecue over this? Oh, you're going to Korean barbecue afterwards. Shopify Rebellion noted before their series with 100 Thieves that, hey, we got a KBBQ appointment afterwards. Like, let's make this shit quick. Then they got 3-0'd. I liked it. I get what Bwipo was saying to a certain extent, because it not gonna lie, it is a little odd. And you can take that as like a little bit of a jab, and I think it's entirely fair. But Dom definitely blew this out of proportion on the back end as well, citing mental health and beyond for Bwipo. That was like, dude, just don't. You don't got to engage in this. You can just ignore it. If you want to fight back on it, fine. But like, I don't know. It felt like it went a little too far on Dom's part. And Bwipo notably did address it today after they beat 100 Thieves in the LCA North Finals, noting that it was the coach, or one of the coaches at FlyQuest, that told him this is a motivational thing when it wasn't actually true, or like the context of it was different. It was used as the way to motivate Bwipo, which that, brother, just own up to your shit. Even if that was said to you by coaches, like, come on, like, just own that shit. That's like, whether that's true or not, that's one of those situations where you go into the interview and just say, you know what? Context was wrong at the time. I said what I said. I'm sorry. Or you don't even have to apologize. You just have to be like, I said it. It's not that big of a deal. Y'all are blowing it out of proportion. Just move the fuck on. You could have said that. To then punt it to coaches was like, that's a little weird. But the best part is that's not even the real rivalry that came from this weekend. Like, that was just like the community kind of like jumping together, C9 fans being like the most popular fan base of the moment, kind of ganging up on Bwipo. The real rivalry started today when everybody was watching 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest, the walkout, the banner ceremony, and notably Dhokla does not fist bump Bwipo. And myself and many others had zero clue as to why this happened. But I got immediate flashbacks, if you recall, to the Sven Jensen moment where Sven is like standing, like looking up above as Jensen's down below. And guess who got the last laugh of that moment? Obviously the person that didn't actually do the banter in that situation. So everybody, from what I saw on social media, from Reddit comments, from Twitter, Discord, and beyond, was pretty much like against Dhokla, like, hey, you better win this if you're going to go out and do that for pretty much no reason. What ended up coming out, though, afterwards, as Dhokla put it after the series was done, was that Bwipo had made comments about Dhokla's career, basically saying that it was kind of a dice roll and he had one good year, and he was also notably basically the crown of Samsung Galaxy, but for that NRG roster. the player that really didn't make all that big of a difference and wasn't the reason why they won, which can objectively be true about that run during Worlds, but also is very diminishing to Dokla's career. And I know there were some people that are just like, oh, it's just a comment. It's like, nah, when it comes to your career and your honor, you stand on business. I am entirely with Dhokla that, yeah, you 100% defend your honor in every way, shape, or form. And the easiest way to do that is to just not fist bump him. Like, show him that, like, hey, that shit ain't okay at all. I don't approve of you saying that. Kindly go screw yourself, without, doing the Eagles or Florida Gators thing of spitting on somebody. Luckily, not that far. The thing, though, is you have to win. Like, you have to win that series if you're going to do it, and unfortunately, Dhokla did not. But the part that's odd about this to me, well, it's not odd. It's good shit talk because it's, like, twisting the truth of what actually happened, was Bwipo had this to say after the series was done.
I gotta ask, because you bring it up, I mean, the fist bump at the beginning of the day, also the fist bump at the end of the day, both denied from you. How does that make you feel?
I mean, like I said, it's a bit, I think it's more embarrassing for him than for me when you go down 50 and then get solo killed, like lose your whole tower 1v1. I'd be going home not very happy with my finals performance, and if you don't want to be sportsmanlike about it either, then I think you have another reason to be pretty sad about it, but that's just me. I actually thought 100 Thieves played really well today, and if they perform like this going into the next tournament and going to Texas, I think they'll actually be a really strong team, and they should be the second seed.
So you think 100 Thieves are the second best team in the region?
Yeah, if their top laner connects to the game.
And if we go back, okay, I would understand those comments if Bwipo was getting the absolute better of Dhokla in every single situation, in a one-on-one manner, which by all means did happen in Game 1. In Game 1, Dhokla was getting some pretty significant advantages on Bwipo, was leading pretty heavily on the Rumble pick that he had notably not lost all season. But Dhokla did throw that Game 1 by getting caught out by Bwipo's Mbessa, which then led to the snowball, which caused 100 Thieves to chuck that Game 1. Fine, I get it, it's on Dhokla, but let's not act like Bwipo was hard carrying the game prior to that, even though he did get the game-winning pick. It's not much of a distinction, but it is just something important to note. Game 2, 100 Thieves win pretty convincingly. Like, it really, like, there was never a moment where you looked at FlyQuest and were like, yeah, they really had control of that game. No, I think Dhokla handled his own pretty well there. FBI was by far like the star of that particular game, gapped the ever-living crap out of Masu, but let's not act like Bwipo got the better of Dhokla. He didn't. Game 3, this is where the controversy probably begins. Bwipo is going to sit here and say that he was the bully for his team, as he technically was, because once Aatrox got ahead in this game, he was able to just outright punish people. Like, he did not allow 100 Thieves a way back into this game. But the reason why Aatrox got fed had nothing to do with Dhokla at all. In fact, Dhokla had already blown his flash in lane. Dhokla was ahead in CS and had a winning matchup. 100 Thieves made the choice to swap into the Aatrox, of which Ayla donated an entirely free kill to him, and it put Jax, aka Dhokla, in a position where he then got his way frozen on him in bot lane, out of his control because the swap was forced by other players on 100 Thieves. And then it's like, okay, yeah, Bwipo's dangerously ahead. Dhokla got cocked that game. He had nothing to do with why things fell so far behind. Now, granted, he did call for Quid to roam down and cost Quid some CS to try and help break this freeze, but again, the situation was not set up by Dhokla himself. He needed help getting bailed out of that. So for Bwipo to sit here and say that if, they had had a top laner, that would have been different, or 100 Thieves would have played better, that wasn't a top lane difference. That was a Ayla difference in running it down early in that game, and 100 Thieves could never recover, let alone the dive top lane with River, where he donated a kill to Cassiopeia. Look, it wasn't good, but it's not a top lane diff. Game 4, I kind of could get it. I could understand why you would say it's a top lane diff, but I'll be honest with you, using my eyes, I think it's Inspired. Inspired was player of this series for a reason. His Trundle, I think, went deathless in that final game, or at least close to it. And he was the difference maker. You want to know why Gwen got all of her shit blown and why the kills kept coming? Because Inspired ganked top lane. Now, that it is on Dhokla for playing too far up, I agree to a certain extent. But Inspired was all over the map, especially after a busted level 1 invade had already happened. Inspired just got his pick of the litter. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Bwipo necessarily gapped Dhokla in that situation either. That was Inspired. If anything, Inspired gapped Dhokla. Like, I don't know. You're kind of taking credit for somebody else's work in that situation, which you know what? It makes for good banter. It makes for good shit talk in this moment because this is a real rivalry. This is something that we have not seen in North America in a long time, which is two players, one of which is kind of like cheeky, like, oh, like really? He kind of doesn't like me. The other one who genuinely fucking hates him. Like Dhokla does not like Bwipo at all, and we are all better for that. It is sad, unfortunately, that this rivalry somewhat ends after this year is over, given that we don't know where all the players on 100 Thieves will end up next year. I mean, maybe somebody takes a chance and like basically picks up the entire 100 Thieves roster and replaces River with somebody, or maybe Blabber if C9's looking to get rid of him. That's all I'm saying. Maybe that's how this all works out, and maybe it will be like a rivalry that can bud between Bwipo staying on FlyQuest and beyond. It just like, why is this happening now? Like, why couldn't this have started a bit ago? Oh man, it's good. This is what I like. And to anybody that was soft enough to say, oh, Dhokla needs to be fined for saying this or for being unsportsmanlike, I'm sorry, you gotta go out and like live life, have a sport, have some sort of hobby that's not just sitting here and typing on a computer all day. This is a real rivalry. If you feel disrespected, you stand on your fucking business. And that's exactly what Dhokla's doing. And the best case scenario, the narrative that all of us need now. Like, I know so many people wanted the FlyQuest versus C9 matchup. Sure. The real matchup that we all deserve to see is that we deserve to see Quid face Quad and to see Dhokla go up against Bwipo again. Because I'm telling you, I saw enough signs in this FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves series to believe that it could be even closer the second time around. But I'll save that for a little bit later. On Wednesday, you will have the Rendezvous, your 100 Thieves series, catching up on this past weekend, talking a little bit about the matchups to come. Cross-conference playoffs is officially here. 100 Thieves are 2 series away from qualifying for Worlds. And on Friday, I'm hoping, I have not heard back from them yet, but I'm hoping I can use this video to also publicly persuade him. I hope Henrik de Moor can come in and give us a preview of the LCA South teams that will be going up against Shopify Rebellion, FlyQuest, and 100 Thieves in the pit on Friday. That's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 6,000, and I will catch you for the next video. Man, do I love drama.